Hi guys, this week we're looking at another matrices, a bit like the empathy matrix, which is a really cool tool for getting to understand your characters. But a character is a bit like a car. It's great to look at and to understand, but if it's not moving, it's not doing its job. So we need to have a character that can interact with the story and interact with other people. So it's vitally important that we get an understanding of how your protagonist interacts with your antagonist. An antagonist can be a person, it can be the self. You could be challenged with yourself, or it could be the environment, where this is more useful for the person type antagonist. What we're going to be looking at as the example is Chris Nolan's Dark Knight. We're going to be using that now. So this is the Matrix. As you can see, Batman versus what Batman thinks of Batman, what Batman thinks of the Joker, what the Joker thinks of the Joker, and what the Joker thinks of Batman. Now we look at those understandings, we look at those relationships, we look at those things. So let's kick off with what Batman thinks of Batman. Batman sees himself as the protector of Gotham. In the empathy matrix, we would have spoke about the death of his parents and how that has affected him. So now we have that understanding, we bring that into this. He sees himself as the protector of Gotham. Gotham is a corrupt place. Gotham, the police are just as corrupt as the criminals. So he's protecting the normal people of Gotham. He sees himself as necessary. He sees himself as a necessary evil. He's not doing it for him. He's doing it for others. This is how he sees himself. And he also sees himself as being in charge, that he will break the bad people. He will bend them to his will. He understands them. He knows they're driven by greed. He knows that they're basically bad people and money's all important to them. And he can fight them, beat them, and make life better in Gotham. This is his belief of himself. He is the Dark Knight. If we look at what the Joker thinks of Batman, the Joker sees him as someone who's causing chaos, just like the Joker does. He sees someone has a disregard for the law, just like the Joker does. He sees Batman as a bit of a kindred spirit, someone who's out there to cause havoc, cause chaos. They both have different goals. The Joker's going to stop at chaos. The Batman wants to cause chaos in the organised crime, in the corrupt world. The Joker sees him as a person who's willing to be violent to get what he wants, a person who's willing to break laws to get what he wants, and has cool toys, and has the backing of people. The Joker has the backing of criminals. Batman has the backing of the general public. So the Joker sees Batman as similar to himself. He thinks he understands the Batman. He knows Batman is broken psychologically, that Batman has issues, and he feels a connection that way. It's sort of not an empathy, but he understands how broken people think. So therefore he's on the same page as Batman in his mind. He sees Batman as necessary. In the Nolan movie, even when he's swinging back and forth, he does that Hallmark movie cliche romance line, "You complete me." And that's sort of true. He sees Batman as being a necessary evil, because if he didn't have Batman, he'd have nothing to really push back against. He couldn't push back against the police force, they're corrupt. He couldn't push back against the criminals because they're corrupt. They don't care what he does. They don't take it personally. He needed a nemesis. He needed someone that saw the Joker as something that needed to be cured, something that the Joker could react against. This is what the Joker saw in Batman. So that's the Joker's understanding of Batman. Now, what does Batman see in the Joker? What Batman sees in the Joker, he can't understand him because he sees him as a criminal because he's doing criminal things. And Batman understands criminals. They're corrupt. They're doing it for money. They're doing it for an outcome. They have their own interests at heart. They corrupt scenarios and systems and the police for their own advantage. The Joker doesn't do that. And he finds that very hard to understand. that he's intelligent. He can pull off major crimes. He can find out where Bruce Wayne lives. He can get in there with guns. He can do all that stuff, just like a criminal mastermind, but he has no self-interest. And Batman finds this incredibly confusing. How do you threaten someone who has no self-interest? What can you threaten them with? What can you go to take away from them? Batman knows he can affect criminals by cutting off their access to cash. He can affect criminals by getting the police to be not corrupt anymore. He can attack their corrupt networks. He can stop their crime. He can stop the inflow of money into organised crime, because organised crime doesn't produce anything. It needs money flowing in so it can pay it out to its corrupt organisations, and that's the cost of doing business, and it can keep going to make more money. Batman can't use his normal logic, his normal thinking against the Joker, because the Joker isn't driven by money. As we see in the movie, I'm going to burn my half. So he can't treat it the way he would normally treat criminal activity. And for him, that's very confusing. He doesn't know what the Joker's next steps are going to be, or what the Joker's going to do, because it's not predictable. It's not driven by money, not driven by crime, not driven by power. I mean, like, there'll be a war between two rival crime gangs for power. Batman understands that. But that doesn't happen with the Joker, because the Joker doesn't care about power. He just wants chaos. And Batman isn't geared up for chaos. He can't understand the Joker. And that's his biggest challenge here. His misunderstanding is his relationship and understanding to the Joker. The last one is, how does the Joker see the Joker? The Joker sees himself as the proof of honesty. People are bad deep down. Everyone's bad deep down in the Joker's mind. Any goodness they have is a veneer. So he's just going to show them that. He's going to put bombs on boats and give triggers to the other boat. He's going to put people in situations where he just breaks the pool stick and says, we're having tryouts. Let me know when you're finished. At the first bank robbery, each other bank robber was willing to kill his partner for more money. The Joker has no faith in humanity. And he's out to prove it time and time again. And the chaos that he causes, because he has no faith in humanity, is what he feeds off. It's what he loves. He loves the chaos for the Joker. He may not be right. He may not have an honest opinion of himself, but that is how he sees himself. And it's very important that you understand how the protagonist sees himself and how the antagonist sees himself. And that's how the Joker sees himself, as someone who is bringing out the truth in people. He can't see it as being wrong, that he's forcing people to do cruel and unusual things or even break the law, because deep down, that's who they are. All he's doing is removing the obstacles so we can truly see people's nature. That's the Joker. He loves the chaos. He loves the crime because he's seeing humanity in its rawest form. That's how you use these matrices, and you can do them very, very simply. Just put two characters and fill it in, what they know about each other. We've used Batman and the Joker because most people have seen Nolan's Dark Knight. If not, they can go out and watch it. It's a great watch. And you can understand now how understanding these relationships, even of a person, how a person sees themselves and how the person sees the antagonist, can now be used to drive decisions that are being made by them. They think they know how the other person is going to react, so they're going to react this way. Knowing how their relationship works allows you to write better dialogue. Not only better dialogue, it allows you to, because you've got the empathy matrix beforehand, you understand what the person would do, and now you understand what they would do in reaction to what they believe the other person would do. Understanding a relationship is very important. So we understand the person with an empathy matrix. Now with the relationship matrices, we can understand how they're going to act with each other. And you can do one for every single character because they're very, very fast to fill out. And you don't even have to fill them out with great detail. You can just use them to formulate these opinions in your mind, because that's what you're doing. You're concreting the ideas. Empathy matrix, these relationship matrix. There's a larger relationship matrix that looks like a set of stairs that I'll explain at a later date, and I'll show you how you use it, especially in larger films. That if you've got a fair few characters and you need to understand how they know each other, how they interact with each other, and if two characters, you need two characters to interact with each other, you'll need to know how they get to that person. So if you wanted to sort of say Jamie out of Mythbusters, how would Craig get to Jamie in Mythbusters? Well, my brother, Rob McHugh, had a TV show. One of the producers on the TV show was a producer of Mythbusters. So that's how Craig would get to Jamie Hyneman. So knowing that path of relationship would tell you how I have to interact or some of the things I have to do to get to talk to Jamie. That may be a series of locations or things, but that's the next matrices we'll talk about in a few weeks. So start with your empathy matrix. Now start doing little development, little relationship matrices for every single person in your film, and it'll make your writing of the story, because you'll understand the story. Then the story just becomes a series of events to drag out the theme and the plots and the questions, and you know how the people are going to react. So you'll never get stuck if you use these. As always, I plug Script Revolution because that's where I host my scripts and where I sell scripts. At the moment, I'm having very preliminary negotiations with a company in the Czech Republic for a contained horror I wrote years ago, and that's through Script Revolution. It's very good for the spec, low-budget market, which is where I live. So for me, it's outstanding. So go to scriptrevolution.com. Leave comments below. It starts conversations. I'm going to do a series soon where we just write a movie. It'll be like a 20-minute video and we just write the film. Not the dialogue, but we'll get the whole thing flashed out in 20 minutes. If you want to have a longer conversation, ask questions, see videos, download stuff, that's all for free. It's over at griffithscreative.com.au. You can email us there, leave comments, whatever you want, and that will help inform this vlog. Until next time, keep writing. Bye, guys.